This is the Cloud Boom Echo 3 from On Running. And they're calling it the Boom because when you wear it, it makes you go boom. I hope you're well. My name is Aubrey. I'm a very average runner, simply trying to be less average by the day. As at the time of recording this, I had 2,084 subscribers. I recently crossed that 2,000 mark. A very big thank you to each and every one of you. I genuinely and sincerely appreciate it. The 3 things you need to know as usual. Let's start with the weight. I wear a size 9.5 and it fit perfectly. And it weighed in at 232 grams. In terms of the price, you will be able to buy this once it's released, because it's not out yet, at 260 pounds. Now look, no one has this shoe just yet. I don't have a spec sheet, so I don't know the stack height and I don't know the drop. Sorry about that. But once I get it, I'm going to update this review. On Running, again, if you're watching this, stick those details down below. Okay, so let's start reviewing the shoe like I normally do and start discussing the shoe. Just normal conversation, no techie jargon that you don't understand. We're going to start from the top and working our way down. Let's talk about this heel. It's a very minimalistic heel. Not a lot of cushioning, not a lot of padding, but it does exactly what you want it to do. I did a short run in it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I've got no issues. I can't complain. Next is the tongue. Now I know I make a big fuss about tongues in running shoes, but it's important that you'd be pleased to know that this is a fully gusseted tongue, meaning it's actually attached to the upper in the inside of the shoe, which means it has a fixed position. Every time you put this shoe on, it's going to have the same experience. When it's not attached, you can move the tongue one either way, or the tongue actually moves when you're running and it changes the feel of the shoe. You won't get that here, and I certainly didn't. And then another thing in the tongue, I don't know if this actually has any impact on the performance, but it's actually slitted all the way down in the middle in that little loop where the laces go across. I don't know what that does, but I just thought I would point it out. I just love how it looks. Okay, next, the lacing system. Look at this. This is the Monster. Can you see that lacing system? I don't know what they were doing there. And this is exactly what I would expect from a lacing system. Look, it's simple. Put holes on the sides of the shoes, put the laces through there, and then reinforce those holes so they don't break apart. It's as simple as that. This is very minimalistic, very simple, but very effective. In terms of the laces themselves, they've got a very flat profile, and it feels like very, very well thought out minimalism in all of the shoe. I think that's how I want to describe this shoe. It's so simple, but yet slick, minimalistic, but not compromising on any of the performance. The laces tell that story too. And now let's talk about this upper. Oh, look, 2 things to talk about. Aesthetics, how it looks, versus how it performs. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I will say it. The upper in this shoe, for me, has beaten and dethroned my favorite running shoe, the Vaporfly. Just the appearance. The look of that makes you want to ask, do you want vanilla? Do you want caramel or chocolate? This thing looks like ice cream. It's delicious. Look at that. Wait, let me turn it around so you see. All the way around. That thing is delicious. Look at that. That upper. Now let's talk about its performance. You can see the perforations, therefore it's going to make it breathable. It's not as breathable as the Vaporfly or many other shoes, but I doubt you need it to be. I don't want to fault this. I think the designers have thought this out, been very intentional, and it looks and performs perfectly. The other thing to call out on the uppers, you can see on the inside of the upper, there's a line going up there, up here, going across. That there is just reinforcing how that shoe fits and how it holds your foot down in the midfoot area. Well done On Running. Okay, now let's turn it around and look at the back. You will see that darker area there, it's a reinforced area. It feels much firmer. That's going to hold your foot in. And it held me very well in my test run when I was trying to do my Aubrey Farah Kipchoge. This here held me very securely, and I had no complaints whatsoever. Love this. Now this is a race day shoe. So the star of the show is obviously going to be the midsole. There are 4 elements at play here. The first thing is the lining inside. You can see that there. Unfortunately, it's glued in, so I can't take it out to show you. The only thing really worth talking about is that you can see the color there. As it goes inside of the shoe at the front, it fades to a white. Just a colorway touch, and I like it. The next thing is the foam. Now there are 2 layers of foam sandwiched in a carbon plate, a full-length carbon plate that runs all the way through that shoe. I can't distinguish from touch if these 2 foams are different, but it's more than likely that they are. The kind people at On Running, if you're watching this, please comment down below and let me know what these foams are. So when I update this review after a few miles running in this shoe, I can include those details. The one thing to talk about is the carbon plate. If you look, you can see it protruding that side, and you can see it protruding on the inside, only at the front. So if you squeeze that, you'll be able to feel a plate on either side. However, on the back, you only see it protruding on the outside of the shoe, and it doesn't make an appearance on this side. Now, I don't know what impact that will have on people that will pronate or supinate when they run. I just thought I would point it out because it's a visual difference. And then there's an elephant in the room we have to talk about. That is the monster, and you can see in the midsole the funky design there, the holes that you see at the bottom of the shoe. They've done away with all of that in this shoe, and you know what? I'm happy about it. I'm just going to be honest. I think the whole cloud structure at the bottom of On Running shoes had a time. I like that they've deviated from it in the Cloud Surfer 7, and I like that they've completely done away with it in this one. Now, I know these are purely aesthetics, and people design this stuff. So On Running, it is with 100% respect that I say this. It's strictly my opinion. I like that you've embraced that look in your running shoes. The next thing is the outsole. Great job. An absolutely great job. Now, the reason I say this is the foam that we talked about in the middle is really, really well cushioned. It's giving me Vapor 3 vibes when I was running in it. And I want On Running to protect that by simply placing that hard material, the rubber, the black and the orange that you're seeing, to protect that midsole from fading. What I will predict though is that the lighter parts in that outsole, in this mid area, these parts here, we're definitely going to see some wear and tear in that area, but it's going to be minimal because it's been protected by the harder areas in that outsole. A very nice touch On Running. Look, you can read details about a running shoe from a website or wherever. The main thing you really need to be watching running shoe reviews for is the experience. How did it feel? My favorite running shoe is the Vaporfly 3, and this shoe gave me, it's hard to say this, it's going to give the Vaporfly 3 a serious run for its money. Okay, so there are 2 things I don't like about the shoe. Actually, wait. One thing I don't like about the shoe. The other thing is very minor. The first thing I don't like is the price. Now look, I'm starting to come to terms that running shoes are priced this way. I should get over it. But look, families are starting to contend with light bills, council tax, mortgage, rent, actually feeding themselves to be alive. You know, £260 is a lot of money. I feel like On Running has a premium on their shoes that is largely to do with their brand. I feel like they could have definitely rocked the market a bit more if they adjust that price point and come in at a price that competes with the Vaporfly, that competes with Under Armour's Velocity Elite, and says, actually here we're making a statement. At $260, if I start comparing the Vaporfly 3, hey, hold on. That is a video coming to my channel soon. Alright, and the other thing I talked about, these little target things. I don't understand. I don't get it. So somebody please explain to me why they've got little crosshairs. I don't get it. Lastly, who is this shoe for? Well, it depends. On Running have designed it for a race day, for even speed workouts. Perfect. You'll be able to do your marathon, half marathon, 10, even a 5K in this shoe. Absolutely no brainer. Whereas for me, Tesco test, passed it. School run, picking up my son from school, yeah, definitely doing that. What else? Visiting the in-laws, absolutely. Letting those guys know that this man is serious about his running. Absolutely be wearing these everywhere I go. And should you buy this shoe? Well, it depends. To the intended audience of these videos that I make, your average runner, somebody getting into running or trying to get stronger, you don't need a shoe like this. You really don't. Honestly speaking, there are other shoes that will serve you very well. Even if you want to stick with On Running will be able to give you shoes to kind of get you to this level. My recommendation is the Cloud Surfer 7, an amazing shoe, and you can check out the review of that video here. This shoe is when you've done your training, you've been improving, and it's time now to prove yourself. That's the shoe. As always, a very big thank you for joining me, and if you found this useful, please do consider subscribing. I would love to have you. I'll see you on the next one.